We just had a giant snowstorm in Brooklyn, and I have to go to my studio because I'd need to be out in 4 days, and there's so much stuff in there. So I thought I would bring you along on my walk to my studio through the snow so you can see what Bushwick Ridgewood looks like after a snowstorm and after it's been plowed. It's not as glamorous as watching it from a movie or inside your apartment, but it is pretty and also very bright in front of my window. It's so bright right now, and it's gonna be a journey to get there. I hope I don't fall. I'm not taking a train. We're gonna walk, but I thought I'd give you a POV of what it looks like instead of looking at my face. I'm just gonna talk and walk, and we're just gonna hang out because that's cute, right? I don't know. Maybe this is something you'll like. Maybe it's not. We're gonna try something new though. Oh, I thought you could see the stain again. Okay, let's go. First, I gotta go get Dunkin', and it's so cold out, I can't be gay and get an iced coffee. I have to get a hot coffee. Ugh. So if you hear me munching, just ignore it, okay? And then we'll get to the studio together. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So just to give you a reference of what we're walking into, the ground is clear, but everything is just mountains and mountains of snow. So having to treps over them is very hard. I do have my snow boots on, and by snow boots, I mean these giant Crocs that I never wear, but we're gonna try and get to Dunkin', and then we'll be on our way. Wish us luck. Also, I don't know if my jacket's super loud, but that's okay. Everyone seemed to shovel their snow already today because you have to shovel your snow in New York or anywhere that it's snowy. It's on your property, so if it's a building, you have to shovel it because if somebody slips and falls, then you're the one that's liable. You as in like the building owner, not me as the tenant. But some people, my building, don't really do it enough. Today they did though. There was a bunch of salt, but last night we ventured out, me and my roommate, to get pizza, and it was a trek. Like, it's slippery. But the thing about snow is like once it's packed down to the ground and it's cold, it can be super icy and black ice, and you don't see it. Like this area right here, this area is not clean, and the more that people step on it, the more it gets packed down. But see, it's hard. That's okay. Honestly, I thought this was going to be a lot worse today. And it looks pretty good. It's the getting over these humps though, like where cars were and where they just shovel all the snow. The snowplow comes across the street, pushes it all to the side. It's a lot. But we make do. Like, it's not that glamorous. And then this snow will stick until more snow falls on top of it. It's supposed to snow more next weekend. And it's gonna stick and stick. And then it's gonna become black. Like, we're gonna step on some black snow right now, which is gross. As you can see, all of this is black and nasty. And like, I don't want it to get on my clothes, so you have to be careful of like the puddles that you step in. And you have to walk around. Like right here is difficult. Oh, that's deep. The trick is to go into the footsteps of the people that have already stepped in. That's how you should be doing it, but not everyone is smart like that. Normally, I would get iced coffee because that's what I like. I don't like to hold hot coffee all day, but that's what we're being given. Yeah, it's nasty. Look at how nasty that is. And if you're not wearing the proper shoes, it's going to get all over you. But yeah, I don't like to get hot coffee, because it's usually just too hot. But I'm hoping that today, halfway through our walk, it'll go cold enough that I can drink it. It's so gross. My sister always wants a picture of the snow, and it's so pretty when you're looking at it. But living in snow is not fun. I'm a Southern California boy. I'm born and raised in Southern California. Moved to the East Coast when I was like 24, and snow still messes me up. Winter comes and I'm like, oh dang, I forgot about winter. Summer comes and I go, oh dang, I forgot about summer. I'm a fall and a spring girl. Yeah, these intersections are nasty. But it doesn't seem to be cold enough that it's like sticking as much as I thought it was going to be, which gives me hope for the rest of the week. But yeah, I wasn't planning on leaving my apartment today because of all this snow, but I have so much work that I need to get done in the next 4 days. 2 days ago I rented a U-Haul the day before the snowstorm, and I was able to move all of the big stuff out of my studio that I needed to and get a bunch done, put it in a storage unit, and that felt great. I got so much work done that I needed to get done. But today and the rest of the week, it's basically like it's just a bunch of trash that I gotta like throw away. I gotta find a place to put it. I have furniture that needs to be thrown away. Yeah, there's a bunch that I need to do. I also like wasn't really a kid that went skiing or like went in the snow. We did sometimes, but it wasn't like a yearly activity. So I'm just not a snowbird. I'm not meant to be in the cold. Cold is not for me. It is for some people. People love this, and I just don't. But they did a really good job of shoveling all this stuff. Also, side note, these Crocs, they kill me. They hurt so bad. But they're my only like readily accessible snowshoes that I have. But the thing about snowshoes is that it has to have some grip, and like a rain boot does not have any grip at all. And so it's easily, you can fall.
The last weekend, so that's my first weekend, is
So only so many little paths of snow that you have to like walk through people, and we've only created this one little path for this because these people that own this place did not shovel their snow. And if I fell, I would sue them. Allegedly. I also haven't taken one sip of my coffee, and it's like spilling off over. What's your favorite order from Dunkin'? Do you like Dunkin' Donuts? I didn't grow up on Dunkin' Donuts because they weren't available in Southern California. My mom always tells a story of how she used to go to this Dunkin' in LA when Dunkin' had the Dunkin' Donut. It had a little handle on it, so you were able to dunk your donut in your coffee. And I remember that there was one like kind of near my grandfather's house. And I don't remember if we ever went. I don't have any recollection of that. And then I moved to the East Coast, and obviously Dunkins are everywhere here. I moved to the East Coast in 2019. But if you've ever watched the documentary The Donut King, it's my favorite documentary to show anyone that's from LA because it's all about this Cantonese man that came to California, worked at a Winchell's Donuts, wanted to start his own, and then did, stole all of Winchell's ideas, and then he started bringing in all of his family and friends from overseas to open up their own franchises. And so if you're from California and you've been to a donut store that have the best donuts, and you can't get donuts like that out in New York or anywhere because Dunkin' reigns supreme. But Dunkin' Donuts, the donuts suck, first off. Donuts are bad. The coffee is pretty mid, but I go because it's the most convenient thing that's to my apartment. And it's relatively cheap because they have deals and stuff. I got a $5 meal deal, which is like one of their breakfast wraps, hash browns, and a medium coffee. And that's really all I need as far as like fuel goes for my day. My feet are killing me. Yeah, what's your favorite Dunkin'? What else did I get? I got a strawberry frosted donut with sprinkles, but the thing about Dunkin's frosted donuts is that they're not glazed and frosted, and so they're like dry, and I don't like that. Oh my god, my feet are killing me. Well, some of these cars are slower than me on foot, so I get to just go in front of them. If I had to go to a different coffee shop, I would. But the thing about the area that I live in, everybody serves variety coffee. And variety coffee is just not good. I'd rather spend my money at Dunkin' for something fast and easy. I'm not a coffee snob. It doesn't need to be anything that's like super exciting. Also, hey. That fire extinguisher, fire hydrant is like buried. This is the hard snow to get through, but there's vents to go down into the subway, and so a lot of that is melted. One of my favorite Instagram accounts is called Subway Creatures, and then the other one is What is New York? And they're very good about getting submissions from people taking videos like immediately after something happens. So if there's a huge rainstorm in New York, they're getting all these video submissions so fast from people like showing the craziness of the rain inside of the subway, and like sometimes how much flooding happens and they can't, or the rain that's coming in, all the water. I've never seen that in person somehow. I guess the subway stations I go to just don't have that issue. But yesterday it was all people like in the snow. Some of it was chaotic, like snow inside of the subway stations, like it was snowing inside of them because of these grates and stuff. And then some of it was just like people having fun in the snow. I knew a lot of people that bought sleds and went up to hills and stuff. If I was in the mountains somewhere in a nice cabin, that might have been something that I would have been interested in, but doing it in New York City is not for me. But go off if you like that kind of stuff. This walk is also going to take me a lot longer today because of how hard it is to walk in this snow. I'm also out of breath from talking the cold the cold temperature, and then these fucking shoes that I'm wearing. This is also my first time just filming a POV like this and talking. Walking by all my neighbors. People that live here. So that's something. Yeah. Fuck, these shoes are just not it. I'm also really hungry. I was going to stay inside all day yesterday, all day today. I stayed inside all day Saturday because I was out Friday and tired. But we decided to go get pizza last night. Because staying cooped up for 2 days can be a lot. And I forced myself to get out of bed today. Mind you, I got out of bed at 12:40. But it's a snow day. You're supposed to just chill and stay inside. But the thing is, I do have a very limited amount of time before I need to be out of this studio space, and today's kind of the day I'm going to be able to gauge how much work I have to do and how much stuff I need to get rid of. And I'm going to have to take stuff to my storage unit. I have like a wagon that has these giant wheels on it that can go off-roading and stuff. Off-roading with my wagon. But because of all this snow, I'm going to have to see like the path. The storage unit I got is like catty corner to my studio, so it is very close. But like I have a couple of big plastic bins that need to go, a possible extra shelf that I don't know if I'm going to keep or not. But yeah. So the street that I'm on is Wyckoff. This is like one of the main streets in Bushwick. I guess I can walk on these grates. But this is like a straight shot. It's where the L train is. And I've been doing this walk now since I moved into the studio in
Sorry. Sorry, why am I apologizing? If you're still here, good for you. It was me yapping. I moved to the studio in 2021, I think. And I used to take the train, and then my studio mate moved here, and he was like, why do you take the train? Why don't you just walk? I was like, you're right, it's only like a 20-minute walk. And so now, even when it's like freezing outside, I'll walk. Unless I'm going from work, and I can just take the train all the way there. But this is Myrtle Wyckoff. This is full of action constantly. Obviously there's less because it's cold and snowy and people are inside, but not as bad as Myrtle Broadway, but it's definitely something. A lot of food trucks I've never tried. Doing all this work on the elevated M train. But yeah, look at how dirty all this is. That's all just dirt, snow, gross. I don't even know what the lights are. No, I'm not gonna go. It's usually not this dark. Oh, looks like I can go. The other day I went to this Dollar Tree that's over here because it was my roommate's birthday, and I decided that I wanted to get him a candy salad. If you need to make a candy salad for somebody, go to the Dollar Tree because everything there is pretty much the same size as a bodega or a deli, and it's $1.25. And I was able to fill up this like big container for like $17. And I was like, I decided that I want to go to another deli to see if they had more, and their Haribo stuff was like $4, and it was basically the same size. So why would I do that when I could just go to the Dollar Tree? But mind you, the Dollar Tree's not $1 anymore. Everything I got was at least $1.25. Oh, I'm getting all sniffly here. If you had to be trapped in the snow, what is your favorite snow day activity? Mine is doing nothing. If I had a bigger apartment and a window inside of my living room and I could look out, I would just sit there and watch. If I was with someone, maybe play a board game, open a couple bottles of wine, that kind of activity. But yesterday was just watching old episodes of Real Housewives. But I do that whether it's snowing or not. I probably should have put a headphone in so that it looks like I'm talking to somebody instead of me with this mic pinned to my jacket talking to absolutely nobody. One of the things about living in New York is, I'm sure you've seen a bunch of New York influencers all over. I never see influencers. I never see people making content outside. I guess I don't hang out a lot outside, if I don't have to, in areas that maybe a bunch of the annoying influencers would be. But I wonder what all these people think about me holding this camera, walking in the snow, holding a hot coffee in my hand in this giant green puffer jacket, talking to myself. Talking to myself for 17 minutes, mind you. But if you're still here, I appreciate you. We're having, oh, damn it. That one was gross. Have you ever walked on sand? Yeah, that's what snow feels like. You don't have grip, your feet go in weird directions. It doesn't feel amazing. And yeah, it's nasty. I'm trying just not to get it on my clothes. I really don't want to have to wash them for no reason. So I wore sweats and these clunker of a boot. And these are going to have to go off immediately when I get into the studio. I should have a pair of Crocs somewhere. If not, I'm going to be really upset at myself. I have to open up this coffee. I haven't even opened this up yet. Can you open it for me? What was my coffee order today? I got a hot regular original. A hot original with almond milk and 1 pump of caramel. Usually don't like sweet drinks, but I don't know. Chain coffee restaurants and stuff, I like to get something. Because sometimes there's coffees just too intense. But like I said, I'm not really a coffee snob. I'm not a coffee snob. I just need coffee to survive. But do I actually need coffee? I'm so ADHD that does it do anything, or is it just a placebo? See, like this snow, untouched, pretty against the wall. That's pretty untouched snow. That's the snow you look out your window and you go, yeah, it's beautiful today. And then this snow is nasty. And no one wants to walk through this. I was very scared to go outside today. I thought it was just going to be so difficult. And this has been pretty easy. Mind you, I am distracted by talking to you. Yes, you personally. And roaming the streets of Bushwick. I was going to go through a park, but I realized there's no park on my way. This snow is blue because of all the salt that they put down. Looks like Disney. Let it go. How long do I want to be in the studio? Also, I had to go pick up my U-Haul from this area over here. And you can see the truck right there. And all the vans. Actually, that was my van right there. And I couldn't find the truck. And the truck ended up being like 4 blocks away. And I was like calling customer service because there's nobody sitting at the desk. Oh my God, I'm so glad I did it on Friday though. We were gonna do it yesterday. And there would have been no way. No way. I wouldn't be able to drive this in the snow. They probably wouldn't have even given it to me. I've only driven one car in New York City. Everything else has been a U-Haul van. Look, this U-Haul van is fully inside trapped. It was also my first time using a U-Haul van where I wasn't like moving apartments and I didn't need to like go to IKEA and have it for a whole day. I only had it for a few hours. And our studio and the storage unit and our apartments are so close to each other that it was a super easy move. Probably the easiest move I've ever had in my life. And I have not moved. I'm gonna trip that all over myself. I never moved as a kid. Stayed in the same house my whole life. My parents are still in that house. I didn't move until I went to university when I was like 24, 2009. And I moved from my parents' house to school in the middle of Philadelphia, in a big city. Never lived in a big city. Never lived anywhere except for my tiny hometown in California. So that was a bit of a culture shock. But it was definitely a good starter city because after that I moved to New York after I finished school in 2012. And I've been in New York since 2012. Technically, I moved back to California for a little bit in 2016. And then I moved up to Portland for like a year, Portland, Oregon. I did not stay. And then I moved back to New York, but this time I had moved to Brooklyn in 2018. I've been in this apartment since 2019, which is crazy. Yesterday I brought some stuff from my studio to my storage unit because I needed bigger shelves. And I was finally going through all the stuff that I had and getting rid of a bunch. And I got rid of a bunch of stuff out of our apartment. Next I have to tackle my room, but that's a whole different thing. This car is not slowing down. I'm so close, it's not even funny. My feet are killing me. I'm all sniffly. I'm sure the cars are loud. If you don't live in New York, what would you do if you came to New York? Obviously, this is like showing the nitty-gritty of what it means to live in a city. I'm not doing anything exciting or fun except for just walking to work, essentially. But what is something that you have on your bucket list that you've always wanted to do in New York? You ever thought about coming to Brooklyn? Bushwick? Ridgewood? Ridgewood has become the place for families, which is kind of crazy. It's all changing so fast. It's bizarre. Look at them. I kind of want to play with one of those. Like, those look fun. That's also something that living on the West Coast. I never had a snow day. My first snow day was in school in 2013 or 2012. No, 2009. That was crazy. Like, we didn't have to go to school because of snow. And then I've never had to shovel snow in my life because we don't have that where I'm from in California. The worst we had is earthquakes, and I'm used to those. Yeah, I never had a snovel. I keep saying snovel. It's a hard day for me. Mind you, this is the first time I've talked all day. But we're getting close to my studio, and I'm just wondering, was this fun? Did you watch me all the way till the end? Do you want me to do more of these POVs? I thought, oh my god, this this whole thing hasn't even really been walked on. Oh my gosh. Oh no. This is the worst one that I've had so far. Shit. No, it went in my shoe. Oh my god. It definitely went inside my shoe. Shit. Oh no. This is upsetting. It was so good. I would have just walked in the street if I was paying attention, but I was not paying attention. And this used to be like a movie prop studio, and it closed right out of COVID, as most things did. I keep thinking that I have a lisp, and I don't. Okay, we did it. We're out. Dang. That was a lot of work. Oh, poor UPS man. Okay, I'm here. Was that fun? Did you like that? Should I do more of these? Make sure that you're subscribed and all that stuff. Because the next trip I'm going on is New Orleans, and I'm going for a whole weekend, and I'm going to film everything that I do. So stick around for that. I'm very excited. I'm treating it as my first solo content creation trip, and you're going to come with me. Okay, see you then. Bye.